blue pies. Back of the Packers, Winderlick. Quick handball to Hocking. Back to Lovett Murray. He goes short. It's a mark to Zaharakis. Zaharakis has kicked a goal. The Bombers are in front of the G.
It's time to strap in and get ready. The leaders in AFL Supercoach are incoming, helping you win your leagues and climb up the rankings. You're now listening to the Insight AFL Show with your hosts, Big Horse, Skitty, and Herbie.
Welcome to the Insight AFL Show. I'm your host, the Supercoach Big Horse, and I'm here with my main man for the upcoming AFL season, Skitty. How are you, brother?
That's me. Yeah, brother. I'm going fantastically. We're jumping into the forwards today, mate. So very, very exciting times. I can't wait to get stuck into this one with you, Big Horse. I mean, we've had a couple of proppies tonight because it is about 8:30 tonight, so that's fantastic. So yeah, mate, getting very ready to crack in with this issue tonight because, as we said before, forwards are a bitch this year. They have done us dirty, Supercoach. So hopefully we can find some nice little gold nuggets tonight, and I'm sure between the two of us, we will be able to help out with that.
It's terrible, isn't it? Like, we look at the Supercoach forward line for this year, and there's not really much to choose from, but this is why we're here. We're going to give the community the best insight as to who we think to go with, who to steer clear of, and everything in between. But before we continue on, anyone that drops a comment, we will get to it at the end of the pod. So don't think we're ignoring you. We've just got a shit ton of information to get out to you guys. So before we kick off today's show, we want to encourage everyone to jump in our Discord. Insight Premium is coming your way as of tomorrow, February the 1st. For less than $1 a fortnight, you'll get access to everything we do, our insights, our trades, our captains, and exclusive premium question and answer content every round for Supercoach, and a few other cool perks that come along with it. Entry to our Discord is still absolutely free if you wanted to get involved in the community and talk Supercoach and fantasy sport. So make sure you join us. It will be below in the comments once we finish the show. Our unlimited code with AFL Supercoach this year is 9135551. I'll have to double check.
Give it to him again, Mickey.
Because I'm missing a number there, so I'll get back to you on that one. Make sure you join for your chance to win a prize pack each week, thanks to the guys at the Standard Squeeze. You can tell I'm bloody prepared, can't you? We also have cash leagues running. $25, $50, and $100 leagues are up and running and filling fast. To express interest in joining these leagues, please DM us and you'll be sent the league codes for whichever one you want to be a part of. So Insight Unlimited, I have the code here now. It is 913351. I repeat, 913351. It is free to join and you get free shit. Like, you win the play or the score of the round, you get an $80 prize pack thanks to the guys at Standard Squeeze. You've got to pack yourself, mate. How good is it?
Oh, mate, they're fantastic. Look at this. 4-1. You bloody beauty, mate. Oh, they are sensational things. That's keeping me beers cold and me coffees warm at the start of the day. It's bloody beautiful. So cannot go amiss with that, mate. And also too, in the leagues, you get to come up against us. So you can show us how shit we are and give us a bit of banter and go against us. So always a bit of fun, and throw in a bit of banter in the Discord as well. You can't ask for much better. You know, you sit there, watch some footy, and we're all like, so we can all just be like, all right, this guy's shit, this guy's going well. Safe space as well.
Absolutely. And if it pops off like the BBL and NBL communities are, we've got over 1,000 comments a night with people just, talking sport, throwing trash around. Like you just said, there's good quality banter in there, and it doesn't cost anything to be involved in that. So jump in and have a crack with us. We've got shit tons of content, as we said at the top of the show, to get through. So without further ado, what we're going to do is we're going to get stuck straight in the premiums. As you can see, for those of you that are watching on YouTube, we have the share screen up. We're going to go through each play that we think are relevant for premiums, our mid-price madness, and our rookies. Okay? So to start off with, our premiums are brought to you by our good friends and original sponsors of the show, the Standard Squeeze. They are helping you drink responsibly and conveniently. You can go on the website, thestandardsqueeze.com, and use the code INSIGHT15 to get yourself 15% off everything in store. So as we can see here, we've got the share screen up. For those of you that are listening on all good audio platforms, we are going to go through each pick. So you're not missing out on too much, but we appreciate you jumping on YouTube and looking at our beautiful 4 out of 10 mugs as well. Mate, let's get cracking. Talk to me about Jack Macrae,
Yes, sir.
the most expensive forward that we have this year, who is also a midfielder.
Yes, well, when you think Jackie Macrae, you always think massive Supercoach numbers, but that was not the case last year, as we saw with how piss poor he was to the end of the year. I believe it was the last 6 rounds and there was no hundies, and that is a no-no for someone that's going to be the biggest price in your forward line. 35th overall ranked player as well last year. I don't know about you, Mickey Dell, but last year we opened up the forwards, and I'm pretty sure every single person in the Supercoach community went, "Oh my God, Josh Dunkley, forward for Brisbane. Thank you so much."
Yeah.
Picked him up. Jack Macrae this year, though, I don't think he's making my team. Horse, how about you?
No, he's not on my team. And for those of you, again, that are watching on YouTube, you'll see here that from round 14 onwards, he only turned up twice. And they weren't big tons. 107 against Freo at Marvel and 122 against GWS at Mars Stadium in Ballarat. Apart from that, a couple of 81s, 89, 91, 87, 57 and 49. If I'm spending 550K on someone, I want that average to be up and around or over 100. I'm not looking at potential, to go that high. There's proof in the pudding. He's done this a couple of years in a row where he's faded towards the back end of the year. For me, a real premium is someone that can perform on a consistent basis. Yeah, I know Bailey Smith is out this year, but when you've got the likes of Harms and these sorts of players coming into the squad, is it Riley Sanders, that young gun that's coming through that they're raving about as well? It's not going to be as easy for Jack Macrae as what other people in the community think it's going to be for him. He's not just going to step straight in and be the pig that he was 2, 3, 4 years ago. So I'd be watching this space really carefully throughout the preseason, because I don't think he's a bigger lock as what some people are talking to or stating that he is. I just want to bring up, as you can see on the screen there, his last 7 rounds, he averaged 76. And for someone that's at 556K, that's a big not for me, dog.
Couldn't agree more there, Mickey Dell. Let's move on to the second man, and I think this man gets me and you a little bit more excited, maybe a little bit more table movement in front of us right now. Lukey Jackson.
Yeah, there's a bit of blood running through it when you talk about Lukey Jackson, isn't it? Especially with no big Darcy in the side. And as we know from our Fremantle notes, from our good friends, Nerds for Life, fantastic site. Go and have a look at them on X and Facebook. Darcy's still out. He's still nursing injury. He hasn't participated in any match simulation yet. So if this is the case moving forward, then Luke Jackson may be a big play early on. He was overall the 28th ranked player, which was number 1 for forwards that we have to choose from this year. So go figure. He was the number 1 forward and he's number 2 for price.
Yeah.
He absolutely exploded with that Darcy in the side, going at an average of 130 in the last 4 games of last season. If Darcy's in, then for me to know, because then there's that shared role and he averages, 94, I think it was, with Darcy in the side, but without Darcy, he's large marge.
Yep. Couldn't agree more there, Mickey Dell. And also too, mate, let's just have a look. What was his biggest score last year?
176, I think he got.
Yep, 173. And who do they play round 1 this year? That is right, Brisbane Lions, who he knocked up 173 against. So my thought process is this, Mickey Dell. If Darcy's out, let's say 5-6 rounds, right? Jackson's 547, that's my primo. Right, no worries. I'll keep him for those 5-6 rounds until Darcy comes back. I'll take that cash grab and I will put him into, hopefully, whoever the hell can make their way into like a dual position kind of player from a mid going into a forward, something like that. Just give me something, Supercoach. But I'll hold him, I'll trade him, and if that's what's going to be the case, then that's fine. I'll take Jackson as a starting ruckman, hands down.
How good's that? You brought up some really good points there where the 173 got last year against Brisbane. They've got round 1, and then against North and against Adelaide where our Supercoach Gold are projecting 95 and 110. So when we're talking about someone like Jack Macrae versus someone like Luke Jackson, I think there's more value here with Luke Jackson.
Could not agree more there, mate. And North don't have a ruckman, so there you go. It's coming up against a big O. We've seen him do it, and it's Yep.
Jeez, if he's rucking against the likes of Greenwood and Finn Barmalley and Tristan Akshiri, who's going to get hurt in the first quarter, he could double ton. That's so juicy.
That is a bloody good shout, 100%. What we got next? Oh, we got the old Coleman medalist from last year.
Yeah, we
Charlie
got
Big Dick Curnow.
Yeah, Charles, as his mum knows him as. 29 player last season. It is a little inflated, though, like our egos at times. He did score 186 and 178 against an undermanned West Coast team. They played them both times. He also got 130 against an undermanned North back line, and 127 where Gold Coast was struggling with injury. I'm going to click into his name here so then we can see for ourselves. I'm not a big fan of choosing key forwards as they're too inconsistent for Supercoach. Luke Jackson's probably a little bit different for me because he floats into the ruck. But Charlie Curnow, I don't think people realise or recognise the effect of Jack Silvani going down. Like, it's not a big name when we're talking Supercoach, but when you're talking about the structure of the Carlton side, it's a big loss.
Yep. No, could not agree more there, mate. So he does kind of glue that all together as being like, that Fritz style forward that we've become used to seeing work so well for the D's, and that's what Silvani kind of does. So I don't know how they're going to fill that role. Maybe it's Jack Martin or something like that, but he's not like, the biggest cat in the rack, but I'm sure they'll be able to figure it out. I'm with you as well. Not massive on big forwards, but you could do a lot worse than Curnow, I reckon. What has he got? Richmond, North, Freo in his first 3 rounds. So maybe it's a maybe for me, but it's not a complete lock. I'm not completely sold on Curnow yet.
No. So when we're talking Charles, as his mum knows him by, they've got Richmond, Geelong, GWS first 3 rounds, where he averages 62 against Richmond, 82 against Geelong, and 90 against GWS. Probably not. But
can agree.
He is a very good young player and will be for a long time to come.
Yep.
Let's talk Shy Bolton. We've got a couple of Tigers to talk about now for those Tigers supporters at home. The SC Codfather runs a good Richmond Tigers fan page on Facebook. If you'd like to get around that and have a look if you're a Richmond supporter. Shy Bolton, incredibly, was the 32nd ranked player last year. He's a slow starter, though, when it comes to Supercoach. He's only turned up once in the first 3 rounds in the past 3 years. If you're a patient person, pick him. But if you're not, look elsewhere and then let's start again. So as we can see here, last year he started off a little bit slower. Score 76, 54, 94, 78, 65, 82. It wasn't until round 7 against Gold Coast, 97. Then he starts pumping out his tons and finishes off the year fairly consistency. The 74 against Port Adelaide probably helped negate his score a little bit when we're talking price. This year, he's got Carlton, Port, and Sydney the first couple of games. He averages 71 against Carlton, 89 against Port, so he does it right against them at the G. And Sydney, he averages 72. St Kilda, round 4, he averages 72 as well. So for me, I'm not patient. If I see trades, I want to fucking burn them. So I'm just playing the smart game and just not going with him to start with. But he's someone that I'll be looking to get in. Not so much mid-season, but once he starts ramping it up. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I can say that, mate. But like the thing that I keep coming back to with Shea Bolton is there's not many other forwards that we have to choose from that have the potential to go as large as Bolton can. Like we look at some of these games last year: 152 against West Coast, 139 against Essendon, 120 against Port, 151 against Freo, 158 against the Swans, and 120 against Melbourne, 141 against North. There's not many other forwards that have that kind of, that firepower and that ability to get these massive tons. So I don't know if I'm going to have Shy yet. I want to see how it all kind of plays out with pre-season and everything. There's not much, not purely because, I have to see how he's going to play, but how the Richmond forward line stacks up with Lynch back in the fold when he comes back in. So, but he's definitely on my radar. Definitely on my radar. As well is the next man, Dusty, finals GOAT Martin, the absolute pig himself. I know he's getting a little bit up there, mate, but sometimes he just brings back the old Dusty, and you go, shit, how the hell is he not in me team? He's been going, he was going all right last year. He was a 94th ranked player, so not really what you want for someone that is running at 229K. 529K, my apologies. But he has played good games against Carlton, who he's got round one. He had 139 last year against Port and 131 last year against Sydney. That's his first 3 games. So big match Dusty in round one, game 1 against Carlton. He could be back. I mean, he finished off the year rippingly well as well, Mick, with 158 and 139. It is, again, you just don't see these massive type of scores from other players in this forward group. So, I mean, maybe, but no, but maybe.
Maybe. I don't know. This comes to my head when I think of him.
Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe shit.
Yep.
So you got to take the good with the bad, don't you? And that's Dusty at his absolute premium. Fucking awesome. When he shits the bed, it's frustrating. So for me, I'm probably going at this stage, potentially only a 2 premium forward line. We'll get into later on though. But to me at this stage, this one's interesting for me. Caleb Daniel. So he was the 41st ranked player last season. Had a period between round 7 and 17 where he averaged nearly 103. Finished the year poorly though. If he averages close to 100 for the season, he's guaranteed to be a top 6 forward this year. If he's at halfback, you got to pick him, don't you?
Oh yeah. That halfback, that's where we want to see Daniel. We don't want to see him anywhere near the forward line. We want to see him doing what he normally does. Couple of big scores. His first 3 games, Melbourne, Suns, West Coast. He had 99, 117, and 99. So that is a very, very tempting one. This is the one where you kind of look at, along with Jackson, where you're leaning a little bit more, this could really be my other primo. Again, we know it's hard, but this is a guy that can put up some great numbers as well.
Absolutely.
Little slut when it comes to the ball.
Isn't he? As we can see by the screen there, his price topped out at 635K, which is uber premium territory. It fell off a fucking cliff at the end of it. He ended up at 395, but average reasonably this year. He's definitely up there for me with top 6, and the mid-4 dual status as well is what gets me a little bit giddy as well. Now, I'm going to finish off with 3. I'm going to start with Sam Flanders, and then I'll go to the other 2, mate.
Yeah, mate. So
Sam Flanders, I'm going to incorporate here in our premiums category, just because of the way that he played from rounds 15 on last year. He averaged 96 Supercoach points per game. I want to see his role before I'm committing to Sam Flanders, though, because as we know, he started the year at half forward. And if I can point out his numbers while he was playing at half forward, it may cause you to sit and rethink. So 64, 46, 26, 41. With a healthy Anderson, with a healthy Rowell, with a healthy Took Miller, Ainsworth, Humphrey, they've got it. All of a sudden, they've got a pretty deep midfield. I'm not so sold that he's going to be the number 1 inside mid there.
No, I agree with you, mate. And let's remember as well that he got thrown into the midfield when all that chatter that Flanders was going to commit to going to North as well. And it's like, oh, nah. Suns were like, oh, let's actually play him in the guts. Let's see how he goes. And then he fucking explodes. So I'm right there with you. I want to see him be there next to Took, next to Anderson, next to Rowell. But I just don't see how it gets as much game time as we need. So, but I'm there with you. He's definitely on the scouting report. That is 100%. Because those numbers, they can't be laughed at.
Now, as we can see, they averaged, it was north of 100 actually on the run home. So if he's playing the inside mid role, and you see that during preseason, could be a nice grab at under 500.
The thing is, too, if he didn't finish the year as good as he did, and let's say we were looking at him at around about 350 or something like that, fuck me, would we be snapping him up so goddamn quickly? But that 500. Maybe a little bit steep for such a gamble, you know, man. I'm a betting man, but shit, that's some pretty long odds.
For sure. We've got Corey Blackledge in the chat as well. I just want to bring that up.
I want to bring up his last 2. He made
Has
some
a
really fucking good points.
Has a Ballarat round, though, in the first 3 rounds, so he's a no. He goes badly there. If Ballarat, and it's relatively summertime where the temperature is above 10 degrees, he may be able to buck that trend because the last couple of times I've played in Ballarat, it's been June, July, and us Victorians know that if there's one place colder than Mount Hotham in the middle of winter, it's Ballarat. So
just bring it up. So he played 2 games at Mars Stadium in Ballarat last year. He had a 35 against the Giants in round 20, but he also had 144 against Adelaide in round 10.
cool.
So
There you go.
yeah, maybe not as shit. Maybe it's like,
It's a good
15
call,
degrees to 3 degrees. Maybe we can see that. But yeah, I also like so Corey also said CCJ could be our ruck from talking back when we were talking about Luke Jackson coming up against North. Chance of that. Also, too, he hasn't had a lot of training in the ruck. He's been training more as a forward in preseason. So maybe once, he gets a little bit more under, we can be a bit more sure of that. But we'll have to wait and see how preseason round dishes up, because I'm pretty sure they may lean Hugh Greenwood, even though he's undersized, but we'll just see how that goes. But let's carry on.
Let us carry.
What's that?
Let us carry on.
Yes,
Do you want to talk who's a bloke that was known as the shittest bloke in the AFL that's turned around to being one of the best blokes in 6 months?
Yeah, right. Yeah, go ahead. You let it go. Yeah.
Toby fucking Green.
Everyone's fucking favourite now. He fly kicks someone in the face and everyone thinks he's a legend, which I'm on board with.
Yeah. But you know what I'm not on board with? How inconsistent he is up forward. So as we can see there from round 14 onwards, when GWS got their real nice run on, when they were playing really slick, fast footy, you'd automatically think as a small forward that you'd score well, but proof's in the pudding here. One score over 100 after round 14. They got their run on it was round 12 when they started really hitting their straps. They were at 4 and 8. They were looking like they were either going to start tanking for a nice pick, or as the legend would be, they nearly won out, didn't they? And were one kick away from playing in the granny.
Yeah, they got very unlucky in that too. But yep, couldn't agree with you more. I think also what I noticed as well, when the Giants did go on that big run, they stopped trying to integrate him into the midfield as much. They kind of just went, okay, let's just put him down forward and leave him down there and let Toby work where he plays his best and just destroy everyone. Yeah. And then, obviously he's not going to get as much Supercoach points being just down forward waiting, but he's so bloody good. And, for Supercoach, he's a no, but for 2 goals a game in my multis every week, it's a big fucking yes from me, Mickey.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Going from shit bloke to good bloke status to Mr. Inconsistent himself, Isaac Heaney. Talk me through him, mate.
There's only one man there when you're talking Isaac Heaney. Righto. 89th ranked player last year. Absolute king of being Mr. Inconsistent for the Supercoach. There's, he's one of those blokes that he can get you 130, but he can also get you 50. And is there a way to tell? Hell no. It just depends on how he's feeling on the day. Yeah. He scored over 105 times last year. And there is reports out of Sydney that he is training with the mids to start pre-season. We've heard this countless times. Until I see that preseason game and Isaac Heaney is starting in the guts in place for Callum Mills, I'm not buying it.
No, it's a no from me, dog. Absolutely not. Not touching him. Way too inconsistent and has burnt me so many times before. So with that, that's going to finish us up with our premiums. So what we're going to do now is we'll move on to our mid prices. And as we all know, I'll tell you in a sec. A little bit of issues here going on at the side. Our mid-price mania are brought to you by Bonus Bank. So Bonus Bank is Australia's #1 match betting site. You can go to bonusbat.com.au and use the code INSIGHT to get 25% off your first month of your premium subscription and start making tax-free, risk-free money today. I've got a subscription. It's made me a little bit of bank. I'm pretty happy.
Yeah, it's doing me overtime on the NBA at the moment, but geez, can't wait to put that into full effect for the AFL. Countdown's on. God damn.
Let's do it, mate. We're going to start talking some mid-price maniacs at the moment. And for those of you that are watching on YouTube, listening on all good audio platforms, I am skipping over Dane Zorko because I do not trust his body the older he gets. And Jeremy Finlayson, we're not going near him because he's quite inconsistent. I'm going to start with Jeremy Cameron because I think this guy should be premium.
Oh.
What are your thoughts, mate?
If we're talking about one of, if not the best forwards in the AFL, Jezza Cameron, like this man is just unbloody believable when he is on. We saw him go down last year with the shoulder and then also getting bowled over by Gary Rowan. So hurt him a little bit, cost him a few games, couple of weeks, and then he just wasn't really the same after that. But, mate, some of these first rounds, 149 round 2 against Carlton, 156 round 4 against Hawthorn. By the way, he plays Hawthorn in round 3. We got 119 against West Coast, 106 against Sydney. He was absolutely piling on at the start. Geelong looked for him down there. And at the half forward, he also pushes up to the wing now, which was really showing him open up his game and showing how impactful he can actually be. Yeah, mate, I'll tell you what, 462, that looks pretty juicy. I don't really like key forwards, but shit, if there's going to be one of them, it's going to be Jezza at that price.
I'm looking at him as being my second premium. I see him, if you look on the screen here, until it took his own teammate to take him out to show that he was averaging 98 before his teammate knocked him out. And that was with a 66 and a 62 in there. And then went on to still average 82 for the year. So even though he wasn't himself, the 82 is why he's priced as low as what he is. I think that's immense value that you could get back in return for a key forward who leads up the ground, that uses the ball as well as what he does, and is as good a shot on goal as what he is.
Yeah.
With these mid-price,
if you have any doubts, mate, just go back and watch that bloody. What was the game where he kicked 6? He was kicking them from the boundary. I think it was Collingwood. Yeah, he got 114 that game, right? And he was still carrying that shoulder injury. And the amount of piss he took was just outrageous. And that was purely him not being able to move up the ground as much as he likes to, but he just did it all down forward, and he could still get 114.
They were the ones where he was kicking it from out of bounds, and like apparently it was he played on out of bounds and still kicked the goal. Like
it was definitely a play on. It was definitely out of bounds. It definitely should have been a goal, but it was a goal. So, and but he's just that good, mate. He's kicking them where he shouldn't be kicking them from, mate. You can give it to him in the parking lot, he'll have a shot.
He is that good.
Yeah.
So we will run through the mid-price maniacs a little quicker to keep everyone engaged, so we're not going too long here. I'm going to give you 2 St Kilda members here, or 2 St Kilda players. Michito Owens, 445k, finished the year averaging 79 after averaging 96 after round 8. Was unlucky not to win the Rising Star last year. He was pretty good, but she's God was that fucking good, wasn't he?
Bloody oath.
I'd probably warn against picking Owens this year, partially due to the next man that I'm going to bring up, and that's Tim Membry. So Tim Membry finished the year averaging 55 after that health scare to start the year. He wasn't himself. He took some time away from footy, but as we've seen in the past, he's averaged north of 75, 79, 67, and 80 the last 4 years prior to that. At 278k for a lead-up forward or someone that can play deep forward and is as good a shot on goal as what he is, there's probably more value in Membry than what there is Owens now.
I'm actually leaning to agree with you there, mate. I mean, obviously Membry missed a shitload of time last year, and it allowed Machito and the other St Kilda forwards to kind of flourish a little bit more than they actually probably would. So it just depends how Saints are going to line this up, because they have got options now. Like, it's obviously not king, but, how are they going to structure this forward line with the other boys? So, also Caminiti as well. So he was proving that he was playing all right footy as well. So
and Jack Hayes as well.
Yeah, Jack Hayes to come back in, who it depends how long he can last for. That poor bastard, 3 games or something like that, and he's done again. So it's interesting. Saints have got a lot of options, so we're gonna have to see how that plays out pre-season. But I just Membry obviously the better price, but Machito, it seems a bit too big for the role that he was playing last year. As good as he was, I just don't know if he's going to get the same game time, the same experience to be able to get it. All right, let's roll on to the trader from the Fremantle Dockers to the Collingwood Magpies, because apparently he's sick of pissing away in losses over in WA and wanted to come home like everyone else. Lockie Schultz, 442k. Averaged 79 last year, Mickey Dell. And that was in a forward line with Sonny Walters and...
Who else?
Exactly right, mate. Now he moves into a premiership winning forward line with the Norm Smith medalist Bobby Hill, Jamie Elliott, who's cemented his place as being one of Collingwood's favourite sons, Brody Myercheck, the big penis himself, Coxie. Mate, I'll tell you what, he's not going to be able to get the amount of ball coming his way is going to be so demineralized, like compared to what he had at Freo. Like they have so many options, and mate, here's the thing that Schultz does very, very well. He can get into the right position to be able to get the handballs off the forwards or read the flight of the ball when it drops at the forwards' feet. You know who does that better than him, that's quicker than him, that's more agile than him, that is also better around the boundary line? Bobby fucking Hill.
Yeah.
How's he meant to? He has to try and beat Bobby Hill for the ball. There's no way. Like, I know Collingwood would like to get the ball around to the best shot on a goal, but yeah, nah, Schultz, it's a no-no for me.
Lockie Schultz played 3 games at the MCG last year, and his top score was 80 and averaged, I'm going to guess, around 65. So that doesn't scream value for me. Yeah, quick maths. Let's move on. Taylor Adams. He is one that people are speaking about. For me,
here we go.
I just don't know, because the old myth of his body not being right. But I did some digging. The Big Horse went and deep dive, and I found out he only missed 2 games throughout the premiership season last year.
Yes, he did.
So he may be a little bit more tougher than what I've given him credit for. So 437k mid forward, unlucky not to be a part of the Magpies premiership side last year. He is a bit of a favourite son amongst the people at Collingwood, and also his old teammates at GWS when he was there once upon a time. From all reports, he started really well this preseason with his body coping well with the workloads. If, and I've got if in capitals, bold, underlined, the whole fucking lot, if his body is good and can find consistency in it, especially in the preseason, this could be a golden pick for us that we're desperately looking for in our forward lines for 2024. He only missed 2 games last year, but if he takes over that inside mid role at Sydney, there's real value here.
Mate, this is the one that we look at. This is a preseason massive watch here. What Sydney do with their midfield? Are they going to lean Heaney? Are they going to lean James Jordan? Who's it going to be? Is it going to be Tay? If it's Tay, then this is where we start to look at it and go, okay, 437? Yeah, okay, let's bring in Tay Adams, because, mate, even if he brings me in, gets me up to about 520k, I'm fucking stoked. And then if he gets injured, fine, no worries. I don't care. I'll burn a trade on that if he can get me up about 100k, because he has the ability to do this.
He does.
Yep.
He does. I'm just looking to see whether he played at the SCG last year, and he did not.
Great.
No, well then, there goes that fucking idea, doesn't it? I was going to see if I can find some stats from the G. Let's see 2022. See if he played there.
Also didn't play.
No, DNP. Fuck.
Yeah,
let's just forget about that, and we'll
wait, Mick.
We'll do
have a guess. 2021 did not play at the SCG against Sydney.
I sort of figured that, but I'm thinking that a smaller ground too, if he's playing as that inside mid, that might work in his favour. Less ground to cover, less chances for him to wreck his body, so to speak. He's good in and under. It's when he's on, those quick movements and he's pinging hammies and shit. So maybe if his workloads are managed, we may be able to get some value out of him.
Mick,
so,
I've done it.
You've done it?
Last time, Taylor Adams was at the SCG.
Yeah.
2018.
Wow.
He turned up.
Did he?
Yeah, he had 107.
I'll bring it up here for the people that are watching at home. 2017. We got SCG. In 2017, he played Sydney at the SCG and scored 122.
Mate, he tons at the SCG. He's tunning every game.
It would appear as though he hasn't played there for a long time, but he does ton up at the SCG. There you go. 107 against Sydney. So both times since 2017 that he's played at the SCG, he's turned up. Could be value. Let's watch him closely.
Every home game for the Swans, Taylor Adams is tunning up. You've heard it here first on the inside.
No, don't go making those calls. Jesus.
If they can't tell I'm taking the piss, then they're out of their minds. They've had more frothies than me. That's outrageous. All right, let's move along. Who we got next? Ben Ainsworth from the Gold Coast.
Let's see if it pays off for him.
Very bold. Ben Ainsworth, 426k, average 76 in 2023. Is this year he takes the next step? I'm anticipating that he does, but from a Supercoach point of view, I want to see it first with Hardwick at the helm. We've seen what he did with the Richmond Footy Club. I think with the likes of him and Humphrey and these sorts of players, yeah, there's going to be increases, but I need to see it first.
Yep, couldn't agree more. He's the number one small forward down there from last year. I completely agree. I just want to see how Hardwick uses him.
We're not looking at Kyle Langford. We're going to skip through a few names here. For those of you watching at home on YouTube, if I've missed anyone that you want me to talk about, feel free to throw it out there. Isaiah Pickett, he was almost 500K last year, not touching him, so to speak, because the inconsistencies around that small forward role. Connor McDonald's been training with the midfield at Hawthorn. Watch this space on him. I want to bring up
Suvlaki is taking the absolute piss at North, and he's going to win the Coleman this year.
Oh, could be a sneaky bet. Well, there's no one else is going to kick goals at North, are they? So,
Jade Gresham, thank you very much.
Jade Gresham.
Yes.
373K forward. Started last year at 481K. Finished year averaging 66. As Ross Lyon, it would appear as though he does not like him. In 2022, he averaged just short of 88. In 2021, he averaged 82. Oh, sorry, he scored an 82, 104, and then did his knee. In 2020, he averaged 82. Watch his role at Essendon, but could be a very handy small forward that will, capitals, underline, he will roll up into the midfield during the season. Mm-hmm. He's very damaging around goal too. Mm-hmm. I'm watching closely here.
Yeah, mate. Former All-Australian. I'm more than happy to have a crack. 373. That's about right for me to have a crack at Gresham. So just depends on how the rest of me forward line shapes up. But he could definitely sneak in there and do a bit of damage. I do want to see how Essendon roll out that third midfield spot. Obviously, it's going to be Parrish, Merritt, and then maybe it's Gresham. So we'll have to wait and see. So that's fine. But we're going to talk about one of the biggest pieces of shit in the AFL, the package. Jake Stringer, 361K. I'll let you do this one, actually, Mickey Del.
Do I have to?
Yes, you do have to.
Okay.
I'm not reading the first line.
He's an Essendon supporter, yeah? I'm an Essendon supporter, sorry. Yeah. There's only one soundbite that I can play for this guy. Fuck off, mate. We don't want to see ya. No good in Supercoach. I like Essendon, but I don't like you. Oh, well, I got that off my chest. I'm good now. Don't bother with it, please, ladies and gentlemen. He will score some weeks, but he's just as likely to score you 30 and look as disinterested as me watching paint dry. So let's go to – we've spoken about Bailey Humphrey already. He had a perfect 100 between rounds 9 and 11, but you want to see consistency there first. Jack Gunston. Talk to me.
Interesting. Moving back from the Lions, as we all say, Melbourne's better than Queensland, and we all know it. So, yep, absolutely. And he's decided, I'm moving back to Hawthorn. Didn't have the best of times there in Brisbane. A couple of good games, but not like, the Gunners that we're used to experiencing. He averaged 53 for the season. After he had been averaging north of 75 while being at Hawthorn. So Hawthorn have a lot of forwards now. We know we got the Wizard. We've got Jackie Ginnivan. There's Luke Bruce still there now. Gunners, Mitch Lewis. I tell you what, mate, where does he fit in? I think the centre half forward line would sit well for Gunners. He can play big, he can play small, but this Hawthorn forward line, they've got a lot going on. So,
as we can see as evidence here on the chart, he's got a score of 13 against Adelaide round 22, a score of 10 against Gold Coast in round 20, a score of 33 against Hawthorn, 42 against Adelaide, 18 against Essendon, 27 against Collingwood. That's not how many goals he's kicked for the year. That were his Supercoach points for those games. So it may be sentimental that he's going back to Hawthorn, but it's a big no from me, dog. I'm going to let you talk to me about Nate Fyfe because he's been one of the biggest names in preseason so far.
Mick, I think I'm going to do it. I think I'm going to get back on the 50 train. I think I'm back on, mate. 283 And yeah, we know about the injuries. We know what's happened to him. He was a sub for so goddamn long. But the games where he wasn't a sub, 96 against Richmond, 75 against Essendon, and then that was pretty much about it because he was a sub, and then he fucked himself again. But, mate, this could be like, he's like the AFL version of Ben Simmons. You know what I mean? Gets all hyped up about preseason. We know how good he can be. And then does he play or does he shit the bed or can he give us some good games? A 283, mate. I'm almost convinced to lean into it. This is a man that has turned up so many times in his career. It's just, can he get the body back to being where it is? Even if he plays forward, I feel like I can have a crack on that. I don't know, mate. Talk to me about it because your boy Skid's on the edge at the moment, and I just don't know if I'm going to sit on the 5 train or not. I've got the ticket, but I'm at the station still. You know what I mean? The train hasn't gone by yet.
This may be the biggest fade that I do all year, but I ain't picking him.
You're not picking him?
No.
Jeez.
No, because it's kind of like watching Ben Simmons in the NBA.
Thanks. You used my analogy.
But you know he's good.
Yeah.
But you just don't know. You just don't know if he's going to rock up next game or when he's going to get hurt. So,
well, in saying that, Ben Simmons did just have 10, 8, and 11 on his first game back, and he looked sensational. So, I mean,
and now he's questionable with another knee.
Yeah, now he's fucked again.
Yeah. No, it's a no from me, dog. If I'm picking someone at this price, I want this person to make me potentially 150K. And for him to make me 150K, he needs to play 6 or 7 good games in a row.
Mm-hmm.
The next 2 that I'm going to bring up, I think could make me 150K. And there is someone in the chat that has just brought up this man's name. So I want to bring it up. So Nathan Eshmari, thanks for joining us, mate. Thoughts on Harms? No Bailey Smith, so surely he spikes CBAs, then upgrade him when he reaches 500K. I agree with you, mate. So he's a 258K mid forward, another player who's been ousted by the Melbourne Footy Club. Averaged 78 in 2002, 87 in 2021, 64 in 2020, 95 in 2019, and 84 in 2018. Will provide you value and will make coin. I anticipate him playing some vital mid minutes with Smith going down with an ACL. Watch closely this preseason, but for me, I'm thinking yes at the moment. I don't think he's the first choice midfielder. So you're going to have Liberatore, you're going to have Bontempelli, they're going to blood into Sanders, Treloar, we mentioned
McRae.
Bailey Dale might even run through there. Caleb Dale might even run through there.
Caleb Daniel, yeah.
Shitload of players. But I think with his experience and with what I'm hearing out of the Western Bulldogs, they've been trialling him on a wing, which I don't think would be his preferred spot. He's more of a goal-kicking midfielder than me. So I think at 258K, that's really good value. That's just above your bargain price for rookies.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, for me, I'm not keeping him, but I'm bringing him in. Bruce, thank you for joining us in the chats. Great comment. Will Harms tag, though? It's Bevo after all. Bevo
that's a good shout.
There's I love that. Really, really good quality content there.
Yeah, that's a great shout.
He may tag, but there is some really strong rumors out of Freo that they are not extending Justin Longmuir just yet. And if they shit the bed early in the season, they're chasing Bevo hard. So Bevo should probably get his ducks in a row if he wants to stay at the Western Bulldogs and do things right there. I think with the likes of Libba, Treloar, Bontempelli in their first choice midfield, I don't really think they need to tag right from the start unless there's someone damaging on a wing like Errol Goulden from Sydney, for example, or someone like that. But I think at 258K, you're still going to make you 150K out of him. Would you agree?
I feel like he can. 100, like he definitely can. It just depends on how that midfield is going to all work. If we see an injury go down or something like that to, let's say, Treloar, then hell yeah, we fire up Harms. Like, no worries there. But as we all know, it's why Dunkley left. And, you know, it's why McRae has become a little bit obsolete as well. This Bulldogs midfield is no joke.
Yep. There is one bloke that if he does play in a wing that I'm looking to bring him straight in and is a proven performer on the wing, and that's James Jordan from Sydney. 275K mid forward, average 49 last year, but we saw that he was predominantly used as a sub. I really didn't like the way Melbourne went about business last year, and hopefully they get their shit together this year. But I think they've lost a really good player here in James Jordan. Watch him closely this preseason. By all reports, he is playing really, 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 really well. And in their scratch match that they had, I think it was last Friday, Australia Day, he was one of the better performers. So for me, he's in my side at the moment. He's got a really big tank. He uses the ball well. If you watch him attack the ball, he's as hard as a cat's head. Like he's one of those blokes that's got no fear. So I really rate the bloke, and he is in my side at the moment.
Oh mate, I'll tell you, my best mate's a D supporter, and yeah, he loved James Jordan, and every single time I had to watch it, I was like, geez, that guy goes hard, and geez, he's a good mover of the footy. I think they had to, they had the choice between him and Trent Rivers. Trent Rivers. They elected for Rivers, which I don't, and Sparrow as well. And I mean, I don't mind it. They fit the particular role that they need, but geez, I think they let go of a good one here. And if they had a chance to be able to find a role for him to give him that consistent time, they shouldn't have let him leave. But well, he's at Sydney now, so we'll see how that rolls out. We go on.
Good luck
the next name on my list here, we got Callum Coleman-Jones from North at 250K forward. No, thank you. No, I'm a North man, but even if he is our number one ruck, if Zeri's out for a few weeks, maybe, but I don't know. He hasn't trained much as a ruck. He's had some really rough times. So, but if he gets enough experience into the rest of it, we see it in the preseason. If he actually plays well in the preseason, I believe he's going up against Collingwood. So in a scratchy, so he'd have to come up against Darcy, Cameron, and Coxie. So if he shows that he can at least hang with those guys, then 250 is fuck all. So I could definitely have a crack at that, but don't know. But I believe there's a bloke in the chat right now, Mickey.
Bring him up right
Nathan Eshmaid, and he wants to know about your boy Elijah Tazadis. So
Sardis, and G Money's also asking about Sardis. Is Sardis a chance at a decent role, or should I go down the Jordan and ride out the Swans early by? Cheers, or cheers for the input, lads. Love your work. Thank you, mate. Thank you for jumping on and listening in. If you get the chance to talk about Elijah Sardis,
so much.
Would be awesome to get your insights. Well, today is your lucky day because I have him in my notes. 240K mid forward and mid. This bloke is really highly regarded by those down at the hangar. Averaged 54 last year. And as a supporter, and I am pretty mad when it comes to Essendon, I need to see him use the ball a little bit more before I pick him in my Supercoach side. Like, I think he'll make you 100K. But as we can see here with scores of 41, 77, 53, and 49, it wasn't because he was lacking being able to find the ball. It was what he did with the ball after he got the ball as to why he didn't score well. So if this was AFL fantasy, then no worries, because you don't get punished for turnovers as harshly as what you do in AFL Supercoach. I think this guy is going to be an absolute star in 2 years' time. I think we've just got to ride him out for now. Essendon are 2 years away from being a dead set bloody finals chance. Like, we've got to actually win a final first. It's been last count, it was like 13,000 days or whatever the fuck it is. But for Sardis, really good player, but needs to clean up his disposal before we look at him in Supercoach.
Yeah, mate, I'm backing you on that. You're the expert on that, mate. So I'll back you. So, I mean, I'm more than happy to keep an eye out for him. But yeah, we'll move on. Now, this is a man that is getting a shit ton. An absolute shit ton. Jackie Billings moving over from the St Kilda Footy Club over to the D's. 243K forward. His last full season, he averaged 83, and he's currently at 243K. Unbelievable. That was in 2021, though. 2020, he averaged 96. Even better. If he gets a red hot crack in the D's lineup, I don't know. I know there's been a bit of talk about him training on the wing and that he might be able to get a wing, but mate, I tell you, I can't see him getting onto the wing. That wing spot is locked by Langdon and by Hunter. They do that so well. They were the best two wingmen for the one team in the comp last year. They played both their sides so well. But I can see him half forward. I can definitely see him running a half forward. He's got a good tank, good engine, good with the foot. But yeah, I think he's the one, mate. Is Supercoach also agreeing with us on that? Like, what's his percentage at the moment? 243. Billings 23%. Yeah, he's looking pretty feisty.
Yep. Just a couple of comments here. We said we'd get to him at the end of the show, but feeling feisty at the moment. Also,
mate,
how early is too early to get on Collingwood back to back? The Collingwood supporters in the chat already. Fuck, I thought I'd give it a couple of more weeks. But anyway. G Money, good luck to you. Rough being a Bombers fan. I'm a poor fan. Oh, shit. Yeah. I remember that well, Nathan. Thanks for bringing back the PTSD, mate. Fuck.
Mate, anyway. My mind was still in NBA Supercoach mode for a while. Yeah. And I'm like, Houston, why the fuck's he talking about the Rockets? And then I remember the absolute 55-meter bomb after the siren he did to break all your hearts.
In the wet.
Unbelievable.
The story in 20 years' time, that would have been hailing. The wind was in his face, 30 Ks. He was 80 meters out.
That was goal of the year as well, wasn't it? Or did he get shortchanged? Oh, no. Sorry, Ashcroft got it. Yeah, that's right.
Stop rubbing it in, brother. All right. We've got one that you've actually brought up that we want to bring up quickly before we move into our rookies.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So this is for everyone watching. I know that there's probably not a big chance that anyone's going to take a crack on him. But I felt like from the numbers that have been given to me and that I've been researching, that there is actually a bit of a talking point here. Harrison Petty from the D's, 339K, forward defender. So we get the double there. Melbourne had the most inside 50s per game last year at 58.5. That is 2 extra inside 50s than every other team in the AFL. They could not kick goals for shit last year, and it was so obvious, blindingly obvious. Tommy McDonald wasn't the answer. Van Ruin wasn't ready. Fritsch needed help. The young guys needed someone to go for it. Who was able to do it? Harrison Petty. 135 against the Tigs. He kicked 6. He took the piss. He had 44 and a quarter and a half against North before he got injured. He was out for the rest of the year. If he's the starting full forward for the D's, he can move up. He's got the engine. He knows where he likes it. It could be something there.
This is nearly as bad as your Jason Johannisen call.
Just wanted something else to talk about.
Yeah.
It's where the numbers are leading me, Mick, because it's not going to be Tommy Mack.
No.
Not going to be anywhere else. He's not going to be in my team. Let me just say this for everybody out there.
Let's watch this space.
Numbers.
Hopefully he does well for you, brother. Now, the rookies. I'm going to be a little bit more better prepared this time, all right? So the rookies are going to be brought to you by Ryan from Astute Newstead. So with interest rates smashing the hip pocket as of late, I'm sure you've wondered whether your rates are too high or whether you can afford your dream home. You don't have to wonder anymore. You can contact Ryan, who offers confidential lending assistance with no obligations attached. Contact him on Instagram at Ryan Astute Newstead. Make sure you mention us for a free consultation. He's actually helping me out at the moment. I'm refinancing the home loan, and he has done me a real solid and saving a lot of money. So, Ryan, thank you. And hopefully we can get a few people on board with you. I can personally vouch for his services.
As can I.
Our rookie prices, we're a little bit different here at Insight Fantasy Sports. We're going to start our rookie prices around 230K because we do see a little bit of value, which is in some ways a no-go zone for some people. I do want to bring up 2 players that I didn't really do any homework on, and they were Elliot Himmelberg and Mitch Georgiades. So Elliot Himmelberg, with Murray going down with an ACL at Adelaide, is looking like he's going to start as their fullback. He's a bigger body. He can run. He can use the ball okay. He's not dominating by any chance, but keep your eye on him.
Yep.
He could average 70 to 80.
Yep.
Mitch Georgiades at Port Adelaide, a young up-and-coming key forward. He won't smash out ton after ton after ton, but he's just as easy to get you 100 as what he is 40. So if you're looking for cash gen, I think better to look elsewhere, but he could score you some good scores.
Yep. I just think Port's, the big forwards there, Marshall, Dixon, Finlayson, it's just too much of a merry-go-round for me to really get excited about Georgiades.
Yeah. Talk to me about Jack Hayes, brother.
Jackie Hayes, I mean, shit. Here we go. Again, as we said before with Tim Embry, how there's just so many options now at St Kilda, but, 228 forward, 228K forward. One game last year, scored a 51. He had 2 tons in 5 games before he did his ACL 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So definitely worth a look. But again, we just have to see how St Kilda line up with Membry, with Owens, with Caminiti, with King. There's a lot going on there.
Absolutely. And Charlie Coombin?
Yeah, Charlie Comben, big chompers. 227k forward. So all reports out of North. This is not a forward anymore. This is a centre half back, full back kind of operating now. Intercept mark. Yeah, and hopefully, he can fill in that role which North need with Mackay now gone and Logue injured and Core injured and everyone injured. So Charlie could be a bit of a shout here. He's got a good Dukes.
He does have real good jukes. What's his durability like, though?
I mean, yeah, he went down pretty badly last year, but he was going all right before then. So he's still young. Yep. He needs to put on a bit of size, but from all reports, his tank's going all right and he's put on a bit. So
cool.
Yeah, could be all right.
Yeah, good. Ashley's just dropped in the chat. Thanks for tuning in, Ashley. What do you think of Lockie Schultz coming into Collingwood this year? We spoke about him earlier on, mate. It's a no from us. When you're competing with the likes of Bobby Hill and Jamie Elliott and these sorts of players, he doesn't have free reign in the forward line like he did at Freo.
Yep. As we
Nathan,
said, I'm guessing it's Collingwood fan, so your forward line's just too bloody good. Bobby Hill, the Norm Smith, too good. Jamie Elliott, too good. But Lockie Schultz, good player, but we'll see how it goes. But not at that price.
Yep. Nathan, tough to have Petty at his price. I agree, mate. And he's also a Port fan. Don't mind Port, just not when they play Essendon. Josiah Mock, thanks for joining us, mate. Forward 6 of Flanders, 5 Harms, Billings, Reid, and Dersma. Too risky, even with 40 trades. Thank you for the nice comments, mate. And mid-price madness allows for significant bolstering in other lines, mate. I totally agree with you, and so does Skitty. The forward line is where you can probably penny pinch a little bit this year because we don't really have the deluxe choices that we have had in previous years. So if we can lock in some guaranteed points in our rucks, our mids and forwards and try and build some bank with our forwards, and I'm happy with that.
Yeah, couldn't agree more there, mate. I mean, a couple of big swings there. So, absolutely. We're trying to get the backs and the mids. They're the ones that we bolster up first. Forwards,
let's move on. Harley Reid. So for those of you that are just joining us, nothing. For those of you that are just joining us for the first time, I've had a bit to do with Harley in local footy here in Central Victoria. This guy is an out-and-out superstar. He will play halfback. He will move into the forward line at West Coast. He's a gentleman, such a nice bloke. And, mate, like I'm spewing that he went to West Coast. I would have loved him to stay in Victoria, but fuck me, this guy's an absolute gun. Just pick him and just leave him there and not worry about it.
Mate, how do you think I feel? We were so fucking close to getting him. And we have to beat Gold Coast.
You tanked the number 1 pick.
You know what, mate? I don't like this chat anymore. Let's go back to what Nathan said. Houston, what did he say? No, all right, let's move on.
I don't follow the Houston Astros. Zane Dersma, 193k forward mid. This bloke just oozes class, doesn't he?
Oh, mate, I'll tell you what, I've seen a bit of North pracky matches, seen a bit of training. Geez, he looks good. He looks very, very good. I don't care where he's playing at 193. He's got that much class. He's that good of a kick. He can move. He's so good overhead. Like, wowee. Yeah, definitely in my forward line. He can even get me a bit of monies. That's fine by me.
Angeline, I think Hayes chopped out in the ruck too, didn't he? Angeline is all over her AFL. Yes, he did in the limited time that he did have. Yep. Keep throwing them in. Love your work. Lukey Franklin, thanks for joining us, mate. New to Supercoach. Bit off topic, but have never played the Supercoach version of AFL. Is cash gen important? First of all, mate, jump in our Discord. We'll help you out every step of the way. Second of all, yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
You need to generate, mate, so you can bring in some nice priced primos or some fallen primos that will get back into form. So cash is king, brother. Cash is king. Guy Cully, 193k forward mid, number 1 mid-season pick from a few years ago. Looked like he was starting to look at home before doing his ACL against Richmond last year. He did pop out, I think, a 90 at one stage there. I'll just get into his stats.
Yeah, I think he might be right.
A 91 against Port Adelaide Oval, and he did look good. Carlton a 40 when they got absolutely obliterated. Can't blame him there. And then the 5 was when he did his ACL early. So I quite like the kid. He's built all right, isn't he? He's got a good athletic frame about him.
Yeah, you're bloody spot on there, mate. And he's got a really good haircut too. But yeah, it's just gonna be
Business at the front, party at the back.
You know how it goes, mate. All party
Yes,
at the
sir.
back. Yeah, if he can get into that West Coast side and really lock it in to his position there, yeah, absolutely. I think his attack on the ball is fantastic as well. And it's, a bit of toughness that West Coast needs. So it just depends on how he's coming back after, after the ACL. So,
Sure.
yeah, definitely a watch this space one. We move on to, I mean, look, this could be the most exciting player of the AFL, but is he going to do anything for Supercoach? You guys tell us. Nick the Wizard Watson, pick 5, I believe he was, for Hawthorn. 189K. Mate, he's tiny. Absolutely tiny, but God, he can find a goal. He had one of his teammates stood on his hand. He went in for scans today. It's come back now. It's negative. He's all good to go. Just an absolute stinger. But yeah, I mean, look, I've heard from people at Hawthorn, forward pressure is second to none, and perceived pressure is ridiculous. So he's quick as hell. We're just going to have to wait and see. He's going to be so exciting to watch. So I don't know if he'll make my team straight up, but shit, I tell you what, I can't wait to sit down and watch Hawthorn round 1 because I just want to watch the Wizard.
Mate, when you're 5 foot fuck all and the size of a piss ant, you're going to be quick, aren't you?
Oh, bloody oath.
Let's move on. Tommy Emmett. This guy's not getting enough attention this preseason. So 182K forward. Yes, he is a bit more expensive, but he played 2 games at the back end of last year. He scored 65 against Port Adelaide in round 23. And in round 24, he scored 98 against Hawthorn. Plays a very Supercoach-friendly game. Keep your eyes on this man. No one's talking about him. And as we can see on the screen here, he's only owned by 3% of the community. So it could be a nice little pod for your side. So you've heard it here first at the Inside Fantasy Sports. Keep a look at him.
Yep. Absolutely. Couldn't agree more there, mate. I reckon that 3% is also just people in Freo that actually know who he is. No one watched those last 2 Freo games besides Freo supporters.
And maybe the odd Melbourne supporter where Essendon was getting smashed. But anyway.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
We'll move on.
All right, mate. Yeah. You tell us. I see the next name on the list, and this is going to be your new man. I can already tell it for years and years to come. Tell us about Nate Caddy, 166K forward from Essendon.
Can you tell? I'm frothing. I'm frothing at the bit. This man is something that Essendon have needed for a long time. Something exciting up forward. Like we've got Harrison Jones, meh. We got Reid, we got Cox, meh.
What about the 7-seater?
Who?
The 7-seater.
Yeah, but we didn't draft him. We had to pick him up via a trade. Nate Caddy, 166K forward. He is very exciting, to say the least. Very good below his knees as he is in the air. Scores will fluctuate as they do with all rookies, but you're going to make coin out of him. They're going to play him. He's that exciting. For anyone that saw the earlier pod that we did, I think it was 4 nights ago, just going through practice matches, he was near on the best in the forward line for Essendon in their ones team, kicked 4 goals and got rested. So if he continues his preseason form, he will be playing come round 1. Corey Blackledge, very big supporter of the show. I watched Tommy Emmett and he was good. So if Corey's saying that, there's got to be some substance to it because the man knows his sport. Adam Kennedy, mate, this is a name that not many people know about. I've done a bit of digging on this guy because he's in my side at the moment. And for those of you that are watching, I'm not shy in sharing my left field picks, so to speak. We'll get to Finlay McRae shortly, Nath. 1% of teams, average of 32. 1. You know why? Because he did his knee. Have a look at I'm going to bring it up on the screen here for those of you at home.
One good game.
Those scores don't really look that good. 23, 22, 9, 39, 70. This is when GWS are really struggling to find themselves. But if
was he also the sub in those games as well, if I had my memory correct, against Essendon? I know against Essendon and the Hawks, he was definitely the sub.
Yeah. So let's look. 2022 average 60. 2021 didn't piece a lot, but he's got 85, 77s, 89s there. Like he's scoring not too bad. Average 56 here, 85, 86, 82. So he's got the ability to string some scores together. 2019, average 65, 90, 90, 88, 75, 76, 76. Like the bloke can score when he gets a good crack at it. So he's in my side. He's a good lockdown back. He does run the ball out of defense well. Not many people in Victoria know about this guy, and he's only in 1% of teams. If he's fit, he's playing. They love him there.
Yep. Couldn't agree more. He's also in my team as well. I don't know why he's forward eligible, but that's fine. But
Neither do I.
Yep, he can definitely move the ball down back, and depending on how Haynes and everyone goes down there in GWS's back line, it could definitely be a sniff. So I'm more than keen to keep my eye on Kennedy. We go on to an absolute goal pig, Alex Sexton from the Gold Coast Suns.
Yep.
How is he 133K? It's got me stuffed. But he was the leading goal kicker for the Suns in 2021. Fell out of favour a little bit last year with Stewie Jew. But, mate, when he came in, he looked good. I don't know what was keeping him out of the side. He found the goals well. He moved well. I mean, his forward, pressure was shithouse, but that's all right. But, mate, any single time the ball comes into the forward line and he has a crack at kicking a goal, my God, does he sniffs it out. He loves a goal.
He does.
So, he's we'll see how he looks for Hardwick. If he is in the starting squad, mate, 133 for a guy that can find the goals as much as this bloke does, that's easy.
I want to bring up the fact that it's not Stewie Jew anymore and that it's Damien Hardwick, and that Damien Hardwick loves playing a fast brand of footy with an open forward line. If this guy gets space, it won't matter about his lack of defense accountability. He's going to kick goals. So if he's there round one and he gets space, he's going to average I'm not going to say 100, but he may average his 70 to 80. He'll kick his goals.
He'll kick his goals, yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
And that's money. That's easy money.
Cash money. Aaron Cadman, 127K forward. This bloke, to be fair, stunk it up last year when we're talking Supercoach. Top score of 36. He's bigger, stronger, and has a bigger fitness base this year, as shown by the GWS website. But he needs to do more to catch my eye, so it's a hard pass for me.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I mean, 127, I think there's other blokes to have a look at. So,
yeah. Mate, I'm going to run through this next one, and then I want you to talk about our North Melbourne bloke that's after this. Phoenix Foster, as referenced by our friends at the Nerds for Life. So, as we stated earlier, look him up on Facebook, X. They do some really good work. Has looked good in practice matches. Has looked really strong and marking the ball really well early on down at Geelong. 197 centimetres and 88 kegs. I found his kilos, even though the AFL won't let the kilos out anymore. Has also been known to give a bit of a chop out in the ruck too at 6'6". He kicked 26 goals in 11 games in the sample last year. He could be a ready-made replacement for Tommy Hawk.
Yep, fair enough, mate. Yep, I'll let you on that one.
Yeah,
he was not on my radar.
Keep an eye on this guy in preseason for Geelong. Can you please talk to me about Bigua Nuan?
Mate, it's just Biggie.
Biggie Smalls.
Just Biggie. 120K forward, but he's obviously going to be a back. He's actually been playing as the number one back on Dersma. Dawson's been playing on Suv, even though Suv's been taking the piss. But, mate, he's bloody athletic. He's got a great engine, and I mean, he needs to put on a fair bit of sauce to be able to come up against these other big blokes. But, geez, he may actually just have to come into the Kangaroos team as a necessity because of all the injured backmen that they've had. He played for the Tigs, one game for the Tigs, that is. 39 he scored, Supercoach-wise. But he has got a bit of size. He just needs to put on a bit more muscle to be able to compete with the bigger bodies. But his athleticism could definitely take him over the line. It's definitely a watch.
Absolutely. Now we've got three more players to go through, and then we'll go through some more questions. Sean Manor, 117K mid forward. Again, as referenced by our friends at Nerds for Life, he looked very lively during their practice match 2 days ago, and is a huge chance to push for round one spot. Kicked 6 in the losing VFL grand final last year for Werribee, and was also awarded best on ground. So to kick 6 in a losing grand final against AFL listed players in the Gold Coast Suns, in they end up losing by like 6 goals as well. So
yeah, something like that.
Wow. If this guy's playing, he's in. It's got that X factor.
Bloody hell, mate, 117K, sign me up.
Yep. Now we're going to talk about 2 loophole players to finish off here. Will Finbar Malley play?
I would highly, highly doubt it. Even with the ruck injuries at North, he's very, very raw, but he's showing such good determination and ability to get his head over the ball. And he doesn't really he's one of those players that doesn't care when he gets hit. He just gets straight back up and just keeps on going. The motor's not really there yet, though, from what I've been hearing, but the jukes are fantastic. And he gives it his all in training, and it's going to be a player that will look really good in North Blue and White for years to come. But I just don't think that, unless everyone's down, I doubt that he'll be getting in there. But as a loophole option, I know what you're saying, because there is the slightest chance that he may play, but not when it comes to this other bloke.
Cohen Livingston, 102k ruck forward. Now, here is your loop option, ladies and gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
West Coast play a lot of Sunday games, which helps us with loop options. He's what was that bloke's name in the NBA that was 2 years away from being 2 years ready? Remember him? The name's lost me, but this bloke is a long way away from playing AFL footy.
Shit.
Yeah, the name's lost me. But we'll get it for you. Bruno Caboclo.
Oh, Caboclo.
That's him. He's 2 years away from being 2 years away. Yeah.
Jesus.
So this guy needs a fair bit of time in the Magoozies to
Corey got it straight away.
So we got him. This guy's a long way away from playing. So when we're talking about a loop option, you've got ruck forward eligibility there with Cohen. Use him. And if you're stuck, Lockie Rollinson as well. Both of them are a long way away. Yes, I know West Coast have been smashed with injuries in the past, but they've got a full list right now. They're training preseason. They've only got a couple of injuries that they're running with. They've got no real long-term injuries, so to speak. So when we're talking about elevating people off the rookie list, there's no need just yet. So these guys are safe. I fear more that Finbar Malley is going to play because of the ruck shortage at North. And you've pointed out his determination. He puts his head over the ball. He runs through people. Yes, he's not the most skillful bloke in the world, but he may play out of necessity.
Yep. I mean, I'd be shocked, but there is definitely a chance. I mean, Hamish Free's there. You know, we got CCJ. So there is abilities. But, yeah, he has been training with the ones in the ruck. So you never know. I hope he does, because he's out my way. He's out St. Andrew's way. He's an absolute legend of a bloke. So I'd love to see him get a crack. So, but
Beautiful.
Either way, mate, that's all right. Are we at question time?
Yep. Well, I'm going to go through a few questions. We sort of addressed a few while we were going, so I don't think there's going to be too many. Thanks to everyone that's jumped in the chat and showed us a bit of love. Corey, is it okay to have 2 premium forwards or go 1 and have some mid-price players? Mate, you're good with 2 for me. I think there's some decent value as we've gone through the list here to be able to prop up your forward line and still be able to score okay, while at the same time get some cash generation. The likes of James Harms, the likes of Jordan from Sydney. These kind of guys are the ones that are going to make you a coin.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. There's so many rookies as well that we can actually make some coin off this year as well. That it's no primos, but we got some choices. So
we've got Matrix just having a schooner at Piccolo's Puppers in Queensland. Good on you, brother. But I just wanted you both to know I appreciate you. Mate, stop it. You're making me
He always knows what to say, doesn't he?
Doesn't he? As Jackson helps for the Gorn Grundy, etc. Yes, he does. Josh Farrell. G'day, Joshy. Avid supporter of ours from Queensland. What a legend of a man he is. We've gone through most of these. For those of you that are new in the chat, thank you for jumping in and commenting today. Please like and subscribe to us. It does help us moving forward. Oh, we got 2 more at the bottom. Sorry. Nathan, who's going to be top 6 premiums for you boys by the end of the year? Good luck. Thank you, mate. I appreciate it. And we'll be back next week with the mids. But for me, the top 6.
Is he talking about just forwards or for everyone?
Top 6 primos by the end of the year. Mate, I don't think there's going to be one forward that's going to be in the top 6 when we're talking top 6 Supercoach scorers this year. If we're talking top 6 scorers, I'm going to go
forwards. He's just talking forwards.
Oh, forwards? Okay. Luke Jackson, Shai Bolton, Caleb Daniel, Jeremy Cameron, and then I'm stuck for the rest. Maybe Kerno, because he'll pick it up against shit teams. I don't see value in Jack McRae, mate. I'm sorry. Dusty Martin, he
I
plays
agree.
his 300th, I believe, this year.
How about a rogue one for you? How about, reports out of Port Adelaide is Connor Rosé hasn't been training in the mids. He's been playing more forward. What if we get DMP for Connor Rosé and Connor Rosé comes into the forward and there
do that.
is your primo?
No.
Bang.
Nathan, no Jack McRae, no Flanders. No, mate, I am not running with either. We
McRae.
stated earlier that Jack McRae finished last year, his last 7 games, he averaged 76 Supercoach points. And with Riley Sanders, with Jack Harms coming in, I don't think there's real pig value for Jack McRae anymore with the emergence or the GOAT status that Bontempelli carries. And then you've got Liberatore, you've got English. There's only a certain amount of people that can get you 130, 140 each week. I don't think Jack McRae's on that level. Yeah. Flanders, if he's not playing midfield, I'm not touching him, mate. We ran through his stats before. And what did he average?
96, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was when he went into the midfield. I'm just bringing it up here. When he played half-forward flank, Nath, he scored 64, 46, 26, and 41. So there you go. That's why if he's not playing midfield with the likes of Took Miller, Rowell, Noah Anderson, all these sorts of guys, then he won't be in my side either, mate.
Nate now saying you got to have McRae. Rest of the comp will have him to balance it out. Well, mate, if the rest of the comp's going to have him, then that's fucking fine with me. They can cop their 70s and I'll take someone else that's going to give me hundreds.
Absolutely. And yes, we do have a league, mate. So jump in the Insight Unlimited. I'll just get the number for you. 913351. Again, 913351. If you'd like to join our Insight Unlimited league, go nuts, mate. We've also got cash leagues in there as well. Join our Discord. We'll be running $25, $50, and $100 comps in there that you're more than welcome to join. First in, best dressed as well. Yeah, mate, we're going to wrap this one up. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we knock off?
Yeah, quickly. Corey Blackledge, great name, by the way, Corey, said you guys convinced me on Jeremy Cameron. Thank you very much. We convinced ourselves on Jeremy Cameron, so feeling confident on that, which is a good one. But
I think so.
Other than that, mate, this is a fantastic pod as always. Yeah. It's always, mate, we've got probably about a month until we get pracky matches and everything like that underway. That's where me and you really start to kick off. We've got more competitions, more prizes and everything like that to win each week. So you get to see more of Mick's head, which is just fantastic, isn't it, everyone? Yep, everyone agree with me, chat. Thank you.
For those of you at home, we have got 42 days until round 1. I'm fucking pumped. I love footy.
Oh, mate. I'm so excited, and I get to do this each and every week with you, so it's going to be fantastic. So thank you very much for everyone that's gave all your questions and everything like that today. You're absolutely all legends. We all appreciate that very, very much. So, Mick, again, another great one. So very much appreciate you, mate.
What do you reckon? This time next week, we'll let's get into the guts. Let's give the people what they want. We'll go through the midfield.
You reckon it's time to give them midfield?
I think so.
All right, let's bring out the big boys. Midfield.
All right, so
this time next week.
We're hoping for this time next week. We'll put it up on X and for all good audio platforms. Like and subscribe. Put the little bell on. You will be notified when we are going live. We're going to talk midfield next week, where the majority of your points and your big point scorers are going to be. You're not going to want to miss it. But for tonight, Skitty, the horse here, we're signing off. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time on the Insight AFL podcast. See ya.